Hello, and welcome to Cindy's Corner. Today, boys and girls, have you seen any dragons? That's what our story is about today, and it's going to make you think, okay? So be thinking about Emma and her feelings. Our story today is in the big blank piece of paper. And when we look at the big blank piece of paper, it has a great table of contents. And in the table of contents, it tells the stories that are in this book. The table of contents we're going to is Emma's Dragon Hunt. And it tells us it's on page 40. So this is a realistic fiction. That means it's like it's real, but it's make-believe, okay? All right, Emma's Dragon Hunt. And the author and illustrated of this story is Catherine Stock. Emma was excited. Her grandfather, Wong, from China, was coming to live with them. But when grandfather arrived, he didn't look happy. The house is right on top of the hill, and the roof is too flat, he grumbled. I can't live here. Emma looked at her grandfather, puzzled. Why not, grandfather? She asked. Grandfather Wong turned around and looked at her. Because there are sure to be dragons living in the hill under the house. They will dance on the flat roof and keep me awake all night, he said. That night, Emma couldn't sleep. Mother was cross with Grandfather Wong the next morning. How can Emma concentrate on her lessons when she hasn't slept because of this dragon nonsense? It's not nonsense, Grandfather Wong answered quickly. That night, when Grandfather Wong came in to say goodnight, Emma had all her stuffed animals with her in bed. You mustn't be afraid of the dragons, he said. Our Chinese dragons are good dragons. But what do they look like? Emma asked nervously. Grandfather took a deep breath. A Chinese dragon has the head of a camel, the neck of a snake, the horns of a stag, the eyes of a demon, the ears of a bull, the belly of a clam, the pads of a tiger, and the tail of a lizard, the wings and claws of an eagle, the scales of a carp, and the whiskers of Wong Fu, the philosopher. Sounds scary to me, Emma whispered. No, not at all, Grandfather assured her. Tomorrow, we'll hunt for you one. You'll see. Would you like to go hunt that? Looky here. The next morning, Emma was so excited that she could hardly wait for Grandfather Wong to finish his second cup of tea. Well, now, he said at last, dragons like wet and marshy places. So Emma took Grandfather to see the stream next to the house. She didn't find a dragon, but she did find a ball. Dragons love to play ball, said Grandfather Wong. There must be one close by. They walked up into the hills. No dragons. When it's hot like this, they go underground where it's cooler. These mountains hold many dragon tunnels, exclaimed Grandfather. Suddenly, the earth began to tremble and quake. Emma and her grandfather tumbled down in a heap. Was that a dragon? Asked Emma. Grandfather Wong nodded. Well, we'll come back tomorrow. The next day was unusually hot. Emma and Grandfather Wong set off again, hand in hand. I made this little paper dragon to put in the sun, he said. If it gets hot enough, a real dragon sleeping under the hill will wake up. Everything began to grow dark. Grandfather and Emma looked up at the sky. The sun was slowly disappearing. Oh dear, muttered Grandfather. The dragon is so angry with the sun for waking him that he is trying to swallow it. But don't worry. The sun is so hot that he'll soon spit it out. And he did. The sun came out again, but billowy clouds of steam had gathered in the sky. They began to darken. Emma and her grandfather ran for cover as thunder boomed across the sky. The dragon is still still angry, Grandfather shouted above the noise. He and his friends are knocking the clouds together. Boom! Boom! Luckily, their sharp claws rip open the clouds and let out all the rain. It rained and it rained and it rained. On Monday morning, when Emma was getting ready for school, it was still raining. I'll ask Shom, the broom's daughter, to sweep away those stormy dragons. Grandfather whispered to Emma, she's a beautiful, distant star. Where will she sweep them? Asked Emma. She sweeps them into the sea with all the clouds, Grandfather told her. Oh, Emma looked at the button on her raincoat. Dragons hunt for pearls in the sea? Their eyes are so sharp that fishermen paint dragons' eyes on their boats to help them find fish, said Grandfather. I hope they come back, Emma said softly. When Emma got home from school, a brisk wind had swept all the clouds away. Her grandfather had a surprise for her, a beautiful dragon kite. It's to let the dragons know that we are their friends, he said. At dinner, everyone was talking about the things that had happened since Grandfather had arrived. There had been an earthquake, a heat wave, a solar eclipse, and a terrible thunderstorm followed by a beautiful rainbow. Grandfather and Emma smiled, but they didn't say anything. Grandfather Wong let Emma hang the kite in her room that night. She lay in bed, and just as she was falling asleep, she was sure that she could hear the pattering of dancing dragons on the roof. Did you like that story? Give it a thumbs up. Now, in the comments, I want you to tell me, how do Emma's feelings about dragons change throughout the story? How do you know? What did it say to make her feelings change? So we're talking about her feelings. Now, think of the story. Go back and listen again. How did her feelings change throughout the story? And how did you know? Tell me in the comments. I can't wait to see your comments. And if you just want to, tell me or show me the picture of the dragon. The dragon that Grandpa explained. You may have to go back and do each piece, but it said that at the beginning, the dragon was, let me go back, the head of a camel, the neck of a snake, the horns of a stag. What's a stag? It's like a elk, a big deer, antlers. The eyes of a demon, that's scary. Ears of a bull, belly of a clam, pads of a tiger, tail of a lizard, and the wings and claws of an eagle, and the scales, that means it's skin, of a carp, and whiskers like a philosopher. Draw me a picture of your dragon. I can't wait to see them. Go ahead and give us a thumbs up. And if you hadn't hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button so you can share Cindy's Corner with your friends and your colleagues and your family. I hope to see you tomorrow. And I can't wait to see your comments. Don't forget to comment. I love my comments. I hope you have a great day. And most important, give somebody a hug and tell them you love them.